Hello, I'm Andres Flores. I'm with Our Kids Magazine, and today we're visiting San Antonio Mission's National Historical Park. I'm having a conversation with P.T. Lathrop, Chief of Interpretation and Education, to get some answers about the park. I'll also be talking to Eric and Valerie Castillo, the parents of Journey, a 2-year-old who has been at 45 national parks. Let's get started.
My name is P.T. Lathrop. I'm the Chief of Interpretation and Education at San Antonio Mission's National Historical Park, which is a long way of saying that me and my team help 1.5 million visitors a year learn about this place, have a great time when they visit, and help us care for it in the future.
Do you know what purpose these missions served when they were created?
Oh yeah, so you're looking at 4 missions along with Mission Valero, also known as the Alamo, that built the city of San Antonio. 300 years ago, Spain wanted to, 1, shore up its northern frontier with the French, and also in its eyes turn the local indigenous people into good Spanish citizens, which at the time meant for them that they spoke Spanish, that they practiced Catholicism, that they practiced a trade. And so Spain came out here to what is today South Central Texas and said, hey, indigenous folks, we call them the Cuauhtecans, join us and we'll teach you some new things. But what we learned is that the exchange of cultures really went both ways, and the Tejano culture that we have in San Antonio really comes back to that blending of cultures that start here at the missions.
What programs do you offer, for kids who are learning? Is there events that they can come to, or family-friendly events that people can come to learn more about the park?
Yeah, this is a great park for families. So first of all, we have free tours and programs every single day, almost every single day of the year. We are closed on December 25th, New Year's, Thanksgiving.
The basic holidays.
Basic holidays. Well, we're open most holidays, but some of those big ones we are closed. But 361 days out of the year, we have free programming for everybody. At Mission, today we're at Mission Espada, but at Mission San Jose, there's free tours every single day at 10 and 11. There's also an afternoon program for the less mobile. It's inside at 2:30. In addition to that, we have some special tours. They run seasonally, October through March. Mm-hmm. The first Saturday of each month, October through March, we give a really amazing experience at Rancho de las Cabras. Each of these missions had a ranch associated with it that fed the missions with cattle, sheep, and goats. Here at Mission Espada, its ranch is about 30 miles south of us in a place called Rancho de las Cabras outside of current-day Floresville. It's part of the national park. It's one of the main reasons we're a World Heritage Site. And on the first Saturday of every month, October through March, you can join us on a tour there.
Can the community do anything to help the park protect itself, or is there anything that the community can do to help preserve this area?
Absolutely. And more than ever, we need the community and the public. I often say that, especially the National Park Service is 106 years old at this point. The challenges that we faced 106 years ago, not necessarily here at this park, but as an agency, I think are less relevant than the issues that we face in 2022. And I think the issues that we face in 2022 take a village. The higher level ways for this community to protect this place, number 1 is stay really engaged. More than any other park I've worked at, this park really wants to hear from the community. Our doors are open, like I said, 361 days a year. Come to our events, pull any of our rangers aside. We want to hear your ideas. We want to hear your feedback. Likewise, when we have large projects, anytime we have a large project, we involve the community. We've held multiple community meetings. If you want to know more information about that, you can go to our website, or you can email me at paul_lathrop@nps.gov. But anytime we have a large project, we want the community's voices, and we go through that process. And this community has a lot of institutional knowledge. This community has been here for a really long time, and they can play a really positive and have a really impactful role in any of those large projects. Other things that this community can do to help protect the park. This park, more than anything, is about stories. This park is about stories, family stories, stories of San Antonio, cultural stories, and keeping those stories and cultural traditions alive and loud. Join us on our social media page, join us at our events, and help share those stories. Right now, as I speak, at Mission San Jose, we have ofrendas set up in the granary as part of celebrating the upcoming Day of the Dead. And these are ofrendas that mission descendants, people who can trace their own history right back to these missions. Their great, 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 great grandparents were the indigenous people building San Antonio. Those mission descendants set up ofrendas inside the San Jose granary telling those stories. And there's opportunities for that for every community member to get involved in some of that storytelling. Because if we don't pass down those stories, the park, without the stories, this is just a bunch of rocks. With the stories, this is, remnants of a Spanish colonial mission that together makes one of the greatest concentrations of original Spanish colonial architecture in North America, which makes us the only national park in San Antonio and the only UNESCO World Heritage Site in the state of Texas.
Last question I'll ask you, or rather just kind of state, and maybe you can have a comment on it, is I've gone to national parks and sometimes they have fees. Like you have to pay $5 or $8 as an entrance fee, but this park is absolutely free.
This park is absolutely free across the board. Our tours are free, to visit is free. The only thing that would ever cost money is if you need a special permit for some particular reason. But for 99.9999999% of our visitors, this park's 100% free.
And do you ever just have rangers walking around to answer questions?
Every day.
Every single day?
Every single day. And you've seen a couple of them while you're here. It's a rainy, slow day here at Espada, but at all 4 of our mission sites, you should see a ranger every single day.
Okay, that's good, because I think, I know you're saying that there's programs, and obviously families will learn things, with those programs, but sometimes families might just want to come by because they have a free day, it's a last minute thing, and having that resource available.
Yep, that's what our staff is here for, and that's what a lot of our park rangers love more than anything, because that's where you get some really personal conversations and some tailored, treats, if you will, where, a park ranger might, pull the curtain back, if you will, and show you some of the secrets here at Espada, maybe where the lime kilns are, or walk you over to the quarry at Mission Concepcion. And so we take pride in kind of going that extra mile when we have those opportunities.
Today I'm with the Castillo family. They have Journey, their 2-year-old, who has been to how many national parks?
45.
45. And Journey is kind of a unique name. Can you tell me if there was any inspiration behind her name?
The inspiration behind her name actually came from both of us had our own journeys before she came along. So she was the journey that, brought us together, and, we didn't intend for her to be, traveling and being on a journey to travel to all the national parks at that time, but it just kind of made sense, and it's now it fits very well with what she's doing.
This Journey does take a lot of photos on social media. She has her own website. Is there some kind of message that you're trying to spread online and through that social media?
Yeah, when we first started, it wasn't something that we were doing as a goal or a mission. It was just so that we could document it for her, because she is so young, and people would say, she's not gonna remember these things, she's too little. Those were the comments that we would get from people that we're just friends and family. And so when we would, put it out there, people that didn't know us were saying, we're getting inspired by this little girl to go out and even if it's a short hike or just go outside with our kids, she's inspiring us to do that. And so then it became, a goal. And in order to, document that we were hitting these national parks, obviously we have to take pictures and show people that we actually are there. So it's a combination, of for her for the future, so she can see it and remember it through photos, and to inspire other people. Like if she's this little and, she's getting out there, she's going through all the, obstacles and hurdles to get outside, then you can do it too. It was during COVID as well, when we first started. And so people were, dealing with isolation and being in quarantine, feeling alone. And so the best way to kind of combat that is to get outside. We feel like, you know, it's a therapy and it de-stresses you when you're out here, you know, when you've got a stressful job or, you know, just the things that you're dealing with day to day, you know, it's just a release. So that's why, you know, we wanted to just share it with other people because there's people that are, you know, older generation. They don't have, you know, family members to socialize with. And so I feel like, you know, this is a good way to, you know, to get outside and feel like you're part of something much bigger spiritually.
Yeah, and then like, you know, to add on that, when we started, it was just like, you know, Valerie said, to get outside and just, you know, to enjoy nature, not even at the national level, state level, or even just a city level, here at the city parks that they have to offer here in San Antonio. But with what Journey was trying to achieve with the national parks, I think it just kind of put us on a different platform where she was able to just a further reach to inspire others, not just locally, but now at a national level. Because what she's doing is, it's hard to get to one national park. 2 is very hard, but 45 is, it's been a, you know, it's been a tough journey to get there, but it's so worth it. Yeah.
You're talking about the distances that you've had to go to all these national parks. You know, there's not 45 national parks in the city of San Antonio, but for our readers who are based in San Antonio, do you have to go far to get that kind of experience?
No, you don't. I mean, the city of San Antonio Parks and Recs has great parks here in San Antonio locally. If you wanted to take it to a state level, I mean, you can go a little bit further out of San Antonio and hit some state parks. Enchanted Rock is a beautiful state park. We love that park, and it's not far. It's a nice drive, and there's other ones out there. So no, you don't have to take it to a national level. It was just a personal goal that we had for Journey once we saw our first national park, and it was just the wonder of the worlds, and you have 63 of them, and we figured we want to see them all because they're not amusement parks and not promised to be here tomorrow. So, you know, we want to go visit them and see them with her because life is short, and we're not promised, you know, tomorrow as well.
So, about 2 weeks ago, I took a hike somewhere outside of Bandera, Texas.
Okay.
All I really took was a bottle of water and shoes. I don't really know what I'm doing, but you know, you guys have done this so much, so is there something in specific you think people should know how to prepare, what to take on these hikes so that they're safe and ready?
Yeah, Valerie can answer that. It's everything that we've learned has been trial and error, and we've learned to adapt to different weather circumstances, or just even you know, where we're going, you know, what's going on, what kind of hikes we're going on. So Valerie's been very good at that. You want to tap into that?
I think, definitely has been trial and error.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on, I would do your research, obviously, check the weather, and don't expect it to be what it says it's going to be. So one of the things that people, you know, they'll hold back because it's going to be raining or it's going to be snowing or whatever the conditions that you know, we're not used to, but that might be an experience that is actually something that you're never going to forget. So don't get frustrated because it's not what you think it's going to be. Just take it in and embrace that. So, you know, one example is we went to Olympic National Park, and it's outside of Seattle. And so we're from San Antonio. We're not used to cold, you know, we're not used to rain. And we got there and it was raining. So we sat in the car for about an hour with the toddler, and we're like hoping that it's gonna stop. Well, we're in a rainforest. It's not gonna stop. Yeah. So we learned right then and there that, hey, bring an umbrella, always have an umbrella, always have a blanket, because a warm, fuzzy blanket, the kids are gonna love it. And then just let them play in the rain, and go do your thing, and don't expect it to be perfect. And those were some of the best experiences that we've ever had. Yeah. So get a jacket with a nice hood, bring some granola bars and some snacks. That's one of the things, we always have a bag full of backup stuff. So it's got toys, we have snacks, we've got water bottles. So if we're gonna have to sit down for a little while to rest or whatever, we're gonna be able to occupy her, and she's gonna be fine in whatever environment we're in. So layering and blankets, and just do it, just go.
How has hiking and being in nature benefited you outside of the parks?
I'll answer that. Yeah, I think with the obvious, bonding us and bringing our families together closer. It just gives us an opportunity to get the physical work in as well, because we're a really tight-knit family, and I think if we can be outside together on hikes, just in San Antonio here, at our local parks, and trying them out, it not just brings us closer together, but the physical part would be, because coming from a coaching background, would be like getting our physical, our steps in for the day, or working our heart out for the day, or our legs. So I see it as a workout as well, coming from a coaching aspect, and a fitness aspect. But there's so much more. Do you want to add to that, Valerie? I think.
Yeah. Well, when we first started, this journey, it was right in the smack of quarantine, and it was when we didn't know what was going to happen with the world. We didn't know if it was going to end. It was apocalyptic. People were wearing masks places, and so the feeling was very down. It was very negative energy. You would watch the news. Politics was out of control, and so going to the gym and being around people, it wasn't even an option. And so we had to get out in order to just stay conditioned physically. And going on a hike, it's a physical thing. Instead of him going to the gym and then he gets back and then I go, and we're away from her for hours, we made it about being together and doing this together. And so, we're not just working out, but we're also having conversations. There's no distractions. So, being away from people kind of brings you closer, I think, together. And it also gives us good memories with her too. Yeah. We're really focused on her. When we visited Biscayne out of Miami, we took a boat ride. It was the first boat ride, and it was an hour to get to the island. And so we had all this time just to meet everybody on the boat, and everybody introduced themselves, and they all had different backgrounds and experiences and what brought them there. We met a couple that had their house burned down, and every item they lost in that fire. And instead of, sitting there and feeling like it was total loss, they took that opportunity to take what they made from the insurance or whatever and packed up their bags and said, we're not going to put our kids in school. We're just going to go visit national parks, and this is going to be their education for the next couple of years, and kind of heal from that loss by recuperating in nature and teaching their daughters that things don't matter. Materialistic things don't matter. And so the girls were super fun with Journey, and they were just loving that experience. And so we felt like this is what we need to be around more, so that helps us realize what's more important.